Hello, fellow humans. It is February 1st, and I just got back from grocery shopping. I have done a couple of these videos so far and gotten some good feedback. People seem to be interested in my foodie videos more so than any other, and why not? I love food. Don't you love food? I went to 3 different stores this morning. Today is Sunday, and this is the day that I typically do a lot of chores, get my batch cooking done for the work week. I had already started a grocery list earlier in the week and then finished up my menu plan early this morning after I cleaned out the fridge and knew exactly what I had in my pantry and then what I was craving, what sounded good, and then what paired with items that were already on sale. Tell me, how do you shop? How do you menu plan? What works for you? I'm curious. I talked to a number of people, men and women, that all have very different ways that they approach their grocery shopping. I go to different stores because I love different stores based on what they have, like a Rancho Market. It's a local ethnic market and they have a beautiful tortilleria. I already had tortillas, though I knew they had a ton of produce on sale that I knew that I wanted, as well as I went to Winco. They have a great bulk section that there are special things that I only like to buy there. And then I also went to Kroger because I knew that this was the day that a couple of locations, I know exactly when they put their produce on clearance and have things marked down. So take a look. I will let you know how much I spent, the meals that I have in mind, and even share the recipes for anyone who's interested. So to start off, just basics, needed toilet paper. That's kind of a given. I'm going to lower the camera just so it's easier to see the bags and the items here as I'm pulling things out, because I just barely unloaded the car. All I did is take my coat off and then plugged in the camera and everything and the mic. So I want to get the frozen stuff taken care of first. I've got some broccoli, florets, and some peas. Get this in the freezer. My fridge and freezer were actually at the point where I could actually pull everything out and clean the glass shelves, which always feels good. And then I got this big Normandy blend. Do you ever look at this percent, how much you're paying per ounce? I look at that carefully on things like this. And I also got some hash browns. This is just the potato only. And if you've seen, sorry if it's too noisy here, if you've seen some of my other videos, I make Veggie Loaded Hash Browns quite a bit. And yesterday, the end of January, was quite a, getting kind of crowded in here. Goodness. Okay. I have a tiny home and also a tiny fridge. Yesterday was the first time I had actually made videos of every meal that I had in a day. And that has interested some, not all, because I follow a plant-based diet. If you don't know me, my name is Tiffany. If you've watched my channel before, you'll know that I am the founder of Anderson Therapeutics. I am a health educator, a wellness coach, a patient advocate, and I'm also an alternative healthcare provider. This morning, early, because it's February 1st, and this was the February full moon, the snow moon, the bare moon, I conducted a distance Reiki healing session. All of this is to do with my holistic approach to health. I am a fan of science. I have a degree in health science, and I also like to marry that with alternative therapies, Eastern therapies, and that is my holistic approach to health. A plant-based diet came in my life in 2016. It's called the Starch Solution, and I've been sold ever since. It's phenomenal. And whether you are plant-based or not, we can all afford to have a few more vegetables and fruits in our meal plan. Back to the groceries. There's one bag down. I also got a big bag of spinach. This is the spinach that I always portion out and put in quart-sized bags, and then I will stick that right in the freezer because I put greens in nearly everything, including my morning oatmeal. I love greens, and spinach is one of the sweetest and most versatile, and I put greens in nearly everything. I also got some little tomatoes. I was on the tail end of my tomatoes. I only have about 7 of those left. Blackberries weren't on sale like they were last week. These were still only $1.98, so I got a couple of those. I got some green beans. I love fresh produce. I love canned. I love frozen. Do whatever you can afford. Eat what's convenient and what tastes good to you. That's one of the golden standards of my coaching approach, because honestly, I don't know anyone personally who eats the way I do, and I respect the choices of others. Whatever you're eating, simply accept the dietary consequences of your choices. That is my advice to anyone I have ever spoken to, coached, encountered, and certainly cooked for. The next few things, these are the reasons I went to Winco. I needed nutritional yeast because I am making some of my savory oat patties today. They're like a mock sausage, if you will. I was never a fan of pork, even when I was on a high protein diet and eating animal products. The savory oat patties, I have a video of those. It's been fairly popular, that video, and it's one of my favorite recipes. It's a go-to that I honestly don't get tired of. I also got some of the PB2, the peanut butter powder, that I use this in my my frozen treats when I blend up the bananas. So I'll make like a peanut butter chocolatey type frozen treat, or I'll use this in sauces like a savory, if kind of a mock satay, or use it with a sweet chili sauce and thin it down with a little bit of water and lime juice. Delicious on pasta or on Asian themed rice dishes. I also needed some plain black tea bags. These are the ones that I brew for my morning kombucha drink. And then because they're tagless and they have such a great square shape, those are the ones that after I squeeze them out and they've cooled down, then I put them on my eyes when I'm doing my L stretch after my workout in the day. Multi-purpose right here. I also purchased some, my son and his partner are going to Florida next weekend, so I get to visit my grandpups, and they get a little treat from Grandma here. So, puppy treats. I got some Italian dressing. This is what I use to make my oil-free vinaigrette that I've shown in other videos. And because I am making Chana Saag, I already had some tomatoes with jalapeno and of course a can of chickpeas. I drain, so with this on the back of the packet, you know, all that you're adding to this is water, vinegar. I add lemon juice because I want a little more brightness, and I love the tart tanginess, sourness of lemon. And then instead of the oil, I simply am using the aquafaba. That is the liquid that's in chickpeas, or if you're cooking chickpeas from dry. Aquafaba is a great substitute for oil in things like this. And the dressing, this will make about a pint for me, and because I add extra water and other things that actually thin it down a little bit, since I want to taste more of the seasoning, and I don't want it to be heavy at all. I also got some more pickled beets. I was out of those. I got some coffee. I needed lots of quick oats. I use steel cut, whole cut, and also the quick. These work really well for the savory oat patties, and then my oatmeal in the morning. And these are the least expensive in bulk. I also Got some more of the low sodium taco seasoning. I showed recently that I made taco spiced lentils and they tasted so good. Plus I had plenty of fresh corn tortillas left from a week or so ago that I thought, well, I don't ever really get tired of having things like tacos or Mexi-rice taco bowls type of thing, that I knew I had lentils at home, so I just picked up another one of these. I picked up a whole, oh, this is a big one, 8 pounds. 8 pounds of russet potatoes. This was at the ethnic market. This cost $1 for this. This will be phenomenal. I love potatoes. I eat potatoes a lot. I got a head of green cabbage, so this will be great for the bowls and of course the tacos and anything else if I want to saute it. I got a bunch of radishes. I eat those often on salads and of course on bowls of all kinds. I got some bananas. I may eat 1 or 2 of these fresh, though for the most part, I usually just let them get extra ripe and then I peel them, break them into chunks and put them in the freezer. So that way I have them on hand in case I want to make some really nutritious pancake batter, or mainly for my fruity sorbet stuff. It's called Nice Cream. If you've watched the film or read the book Forks Over Knives, Nice Cream, that is one of my favorite frozen treats. I got 3 red peppers. I'll probably be sauteing one of them and having the others as part of a little fresh veggie bag. I have some leftover hummus, so that'll be one of my lunch treats that I'll have during the week. I got this enormous avocado. I already had some pre-prepared spicy guacamole that I will use for tacos and rice bowls. I'll save this for later in the week because it hasn't quite gotten ripe yet, and probably by the end of the week and maybe have a 7-layered dip. I was talking about that the other day and I knew I still had a lot of pinto beans left in the freezer from a big batch that I made a while ago. So having that layer with fresh guacamole and salsa, all the veggies, I'll probably shred in some zucchini and make my own baked chips, and that will be dinner for the evening. I love having tapa dinners. It's delicious. I needed a big bunch of cilantro. Cilantro's in there. The ethnic market had, they called this a Mexican cucumber, which was interesting. I usually look for the Persian cucumbers there, and they didn't have any. And so I thought, well, that looks good. I want to have this with a Asian rice bowl because I like to put rice wine vinegar and a little bit of sesame seeds and then the crushed red pepper. I love that combination. I got some, these are the white colored sweet potatoes. These I will no doubt use for making wedges and putting them in the air fryer. I got some fresh ginger. I was out, so this will be something that I will just grate and use as I go for recipes. I'll need this for the Chana Saag that I'm making for dinner tonight, and that will be my biggest batch recipe for today. They also had the darker sweet potatoes, and I will probably just roast these in the oven because I made healthy brand new, oh gosh, his name's Javant. I made his sweet potato. It's a chocolate pudding using these and dates and vanilla and I can't, cocoa powder. Hello. So good. So I got 3 of these. This was, I think, all of like $1.90 for these. And then I picked up a grapefruit. This will just be something to have as a little dessert or maybe a side with breakfast. Oh, I had one more. I got some chopped broccoli. This kind that I get from Kroger. I like the fine choppedness in this because this is the one that I use in my veggie layered hash browns. So it goes really well in the little sandwich of potatoes. I like the chopped pieces of this. And Kroger's the only store that I've seen the teeny tiny chopped broccoli. I also picked up some pumpkin. It's one thing that I didn't have in November. I never did make a pumpkin pie. And Broccoli Mom, if that's another foodie channel that I love, she made a crustless pumpkin pie that I haven't tried the recipe yet. So that's what I got this for. I don't know when I'll be making that. So since I got all of these potatoes, I was craving kind of like a veggie mash dinner with mushroom gravy because Kroger had their mushrooms on sale. This is only $1.08. I was hoping for a portobello or another type of specialty mushroom, though this was the one that was on sale. That's what I will use. I am an older adult and I am on a budget, and if you saw the video that I put out recently about all of the side gigs and ways that I am actually earning extra income besides working in the field in public health, that is my full-time role, that there are different ways that I'm actually earning money so that right here, this is a pretty generous, fairly expensive grocery day for me. So just to give you an example here, all of the produce and the things at Rancho Market, that was $14.14. The few things that I bought at Kroger, that was $4.74. Those two items, because I'm part of a clinical research study right now, and all of the fees they put on one of those loadable Visa cards. That's what I've been using for part of my grocery money. So technically, part of this was free because I'm playing lab rat right now. And for any of you who are squeamish about those type of things, I talk about that in my side gig video, and I talk about any clinical research study that I ever have participated in with my doctor beforehand, fully investigated, and I'm very comfortable with the one I'm participating in right now. It's a 13-month study, and over the course of those 13 months, I'll be earning nearly $1,400, and it's just portioned out based on whatever I'm assigned to do or tasked to do, or if it's a visit or what have you. That's where any of us older adults, young adults, there are research studies out there that pay you very good money. Talk to your doctor. Look at those. At Winco, however, this is a store that you can only pay cash, debit card, that type of thing. So this is the one that actually came out of my bank account, and I paid $44.47. I normally keep my grocery budget under between $50 and $60 per week tops. And that would include like all of my paper products, cleaning products, that type of thing. I'm fairly frugal, and eating plant-based honestly isn't that expensive considering the fact that my plan, the Starch Solution, focuses on the whole food plant-based oil-free diet, where the star of the show on my plate is a starch. Things like potatoes and oats and rice and beans, all of those things. And then I fill in with all of the rainbow with the fruits and vegetables all around that. And it is so simple. It works so well for me. That's how I can eat really well on a budget and nourish my body. My Aging Well channel here, and thank you so much if you're still watching me. I'm rolling things down because I want to put this away and make lunch. I'm hungry right now. I have a holistic approach to healthy living, healthy lifestyle, the lifestyle medicine, and it's called My 3 Key Concepts to Improved Health. It's offered freely on my website, andersontherapeutics.com. I will put a PDF in the description below that gives you an outline and an introduction to this way of living. And it's improved my life in ways that I honestly hadn't believed possible. The closer I get to retirement, I'm 60 now and really wanting to maintain my independence and travel and stay active as long as possible. Isn't that the goal? Aren't you feeling the same way, whether you are much younger than me, perhaps a caregiver yourself, or aging solo like I am, or perhaps you are still one of the people who have children at home and you're much younger and you're in the sandwich generation? Wherever you're at in life, maintaining our freedom and our independence, that is a gift and something to aspire to. And it's never too late to make improvements to your health. Thank you so much for watching. Give this a thumbs up if it was useful. The Chana Saag and the Savory Oat Patties, the rice bowls, the tacos, those are on my menu plan this week. Let me know in the comments below. What are you eating this week? What's on your menu plan? Whatever you're eating, dine well. Thanks for watching.